Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with yet another video of the AZ Sports Fan. Thank you so very much for coming back, guys. I really do appreciate it. Now, today I wanted to talk about the Week 2 preview for the Arizona Cardinals and the Washington football team that's coming on this Sunday. Super excited about it. I woke up this morning, I was like, wow. We're above 500. That's amazing. And I think we're currently tied with 3 different teams in the NFC West. So things could not be looking any better. But that's what we're going to do today in this video. I'm going to give you 3 keys to success for the Arizona Cardinals and also 3 things to look out for the Washington football team. Without further ado, let's go ahead and just jump right into it, guys. Roll that intro. Welcome back in, guys. Now, like I mentioned in the intro, what I wanted to do today is do a Week 2 preview for the Arizona Cardinals and the Washington football team. Now, before we get started, if you're a diehard Arizona Cardinal fan, please consider subscribing to the AZ Sports Fan YouTube channel and make sure you turn on that little notification bell on because we do live streams, we do call-ins. We just try to have an overall good time during the football season, and you don't want to miss the next video that's going to drop. All right, and now on to the topic of choice here. I wanted to go ahead and mention one big thing here, and that is the Washington football's defense. Now, their front 7 is beastly, is nasty, but I want to focus on that defensive line. If we thought we had it bad against the San Francisco 49ers the week prior, the Washington football team is also another D-line that's really, really good. Now, they ended up getting 8 sacks on Carson Wentz this last game. Now, the Eagles seem to have had the game won in the bag. Seems like everything was trending upwards that the Philadelphia Eagles was going to snag this win, but you never can say never in the NFL. And the Washington football team ended up coming back and scoring 27 unanswered points against their defense, and that's how they won the game. I think it was 27-17. But an amazing stat line for that whole defensive line. Getting an accumulation of 8 different sacks is amazing. So that's definitely something that I have my eye on personally. And I really do hope the Arizona Cardinals has their eye on as well, because you got to realize the fact as far as we did have some injuries in the offensive line. Currently, right now, I don't know the status of DJ Humphries or Mason Cole. So I think they're just currently working through those injuries at the moment. I don't know if they're going to be available for this coming week, but that's definitely something notable and something we have to make it apparent. This defensive line is not joking around. They can get the sacks if they want. Now, point number 2, I want to go ahead and make a really great highlight about Terry McLaurin. I believe this is his 2nd year coming into the NFL, 2nd year with the Washington football team. Still a young wide receiver, but he has a lot of potential and a lot of playmaking ability. This last game, I think he had 5 receptions with 61 yards. Now, the statistics don't look, absolutely crazy at all, but he's a really good talent. Do not sleep on Terry McLaurin. He's a really awesome talent. So I'm hoping that we can probably get Patrick Peterson on him, just really depending on if he feels comfortable that way or really depending on what side he lines up. But if he's a wide receiver that kind of goes back and forth, then we might have different cornerbacks on him. We'll see. I don't know if Patrick Peterson is still thinking about, shadowing the best wide receiver. If that's still the case, then that's definitely going to be Terry McLaurin from the Washington football team. In my point number 3, I want to go ahead and mention the 2nd overall pick in the 2020 draft being that of Chase Young. This guy is a freak of nature, and we cannot sleep on this defensive line because they have Chase Young, and of course they have other studs on there as well, but I want to make sure that we highlight Chase Young. Yeah, he's a rookie coming into the league this year, but honestly, I do not think he's going to miss a step. He is just an unbelievably talent. He is a huge freak of a monster, and I'm really worried to find out who is actually going to be covering him. Either if it's going to be like our right tackle or left tackle. I don't really know where he lines up on, especially on the defensive side of the Washington football team, but that's a player you need to look out for. There was a lot of times where Kyler Murray ended up using his legs a lot during this last game. See Kyler Murray doing that again. We're getting a lot of rushing yards, but their front 7 is really good. So I don't know, like as far as speed go, they might be able to track down Kyler Murray. I hope not, because I know that's an extra secret weapon that we can use on the offense, getting Kyler Murray to use his legs and just basically getting another first down if need be. So Chase Young is a freak of nature. We need to make sure we double him, or if not, do what we did last week with Nick Bosa. We ended up getting a running back to chip him time they run for a route. So just kind of keep that behind your mind that Chase Young is definitely nobody to to kind of sleep on. We'll be wreaking havoc on that offensive line that we have currently right now. So make sure that those are our 3 things to look out for the Washington football team, which is going to be that defense being just extremely nasty, especially on that D-line, Terry McLaurin, as well as Chase Young. Now, I do also want to go ahead and just make a little notable note as far as Dwayne Haskins being the quarterback of the opposite side of the ball there. I like Dwayne Haskins. I mean, I don't really know the progression. Obviously, I don't see a lot of Washington football team football, but it seemed like he ended up winning the game for the Washington football team against the Eagles. So I'm going to go ahead and give him kudos to where kudos is due at that point. All right, now switching over to the opposite side of the ball, the Arizona Cardinals. These are our 3 keys to success that I feel like we can come up with a W against the Washington football team. Now, I know a lot of people in my chat were saying this is an easy win. We got this. Don't worry about it. That's, I guess, my step 1, I guess. Do not overlook the Washington football team. No team should be overlooked. Now, they are an NFL team, so they have a lot of great talent on their end. So even if you do get a lead, Arizona Cardinals, please do not sleep on that lead. Make sure that you're consistently always trying to push the ball down the field. If you're not able to get touchdowns, then get field goals. Take your points and just make sure you play smart overall. Actually, my number 1 point that I want to go ahead and bring up here is that we need to make sure that we get other wide receivers involved other than DeAndre Hopkins. Now, we know DeAndre Hopkins had a monster game against the San Francisco 49ers, getting 14 receptions and 151 receiving yards. Amazing. Now, we all know that he's one of the best wide receivers in NFL, but we need to make sure that we get another wide receiver going, whether it's Christian Kirk, Andy Isabella, or Larry Fitz. Now, Larry Fitz did get his balls, and he was able to move the ball down the field. I believe it was something along the line of like 40 to 50 yards. I don't really remember the stat line right now, but he was involved in the beginning of the game, and it seemed like he kind of went away. But we need to make sure that Christian Kirk arises as a number 2 wide receiver, an option for the Arizona Cardinals. Now, with the angles that is given to us within like watching the game, I don't really see a lot of separation from Christian Kirk. I want him to be a little bit more physical, use his speed. I know his speed isn't as like fast as Andy Isabella, but he's got some speed on him. He's still a young wide receiver, and he needs to be able to get physical with the DBs on the opposite side to make sure he creates separation so he's able to catch those balls that Kyler Murray is able to throw to him eventually. All right, my key number 2, I want to make sure that the Arizona Cardinals are establishing the run game and establishing it early. Now, the reason why I say that is last game against the San Francisco 49ers, it seems like we didn't even run the ball until the end of the first quarter or even into the second quarter. Now, that's really, really troubling, and I need something more from Kenyon Drake, especially in the beginning, because honestly, once we get the run game going, whether it's Drake, Chase Edmonds catching out of the backfield, or even if Eno gets a couple different reps, we'll see. But it definitely goes ahead and establishes a play action for us. It gives us a little bit more weapons for us to use in the long run. So I think it's dire need and very important for the Arizona Cardinals to start that run game really early. And if it's successful, then we can just open up so many different avenues, because what happens is if the run game is going through and everything's looking good, all front 7 is usually sucked into the box, so we're able to take the top off or even getting somebody in the middle of the field. So that's really, really important for the Arizona Cardinals to definitely do something like that. Key point number 3, I want to make sure that the Arizona Cardinals are playing smart. Now, I mean penalty-free, and Kyler Murray, just do not flop down. If you need to get rid of the ball, please get rid of the ball. I know sometimes you're not able to see that line that we are on TV, so you either lose a yard or you use 2 yards just kind of sitting down. I get it. You don't want to get hit. I wouldn't want to get hit either, so I'm right there with you. But if you need to, you're sometimes out of the pocket already, so get out of the pocket and throw the ball out. Sometimes a play just does not work out, just really depending on defense that they have on the opposite side of the ball. So it makes sense. I mean, I would rather you get a 2nd and 10 than getting like a 2nd and 13. You know what I mean? Because there's an extra 3 yards there you have to use to convert that first down at that point. So just make sure you play smart. And I'm talking about defense, offense, especially in the trenches. Don't do any of those false starts. Don't do any offside penalties, because honestly, those are give me 5 yards for the opposite side of the ball. So definitely play smart. Kyler Murray, please, just be wary about where the line is. And if you need to throw the ball away, live for that 2nd down and don't lose yards by just, sacking yourself or just kind of giving yourself up. So those are my 3 keys to success for the Arizona Cardinals. If we follow those 3, I do see the Arizona Cardinals can possibly get a win on this next game, week 2. Here's hoping we start off 2-0. We really hope that's going to be a possibility, guys. But that's all I got for this episode. If you're new, please consider subscribing. Don't forget to drop a like on this video. And that's all I got, guys. Thank you so very much, and I'm out.